Please welcome to the stage, Ecab Amor.
Your Honor, opposing counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, may it please the court. Today we will embark on a case that will shift our perceptions of ourselves, of our peers, and of our experiences. Because the defendant on trial today will not be tried in a court of law, but in a court of the mind. One where the boundaries of right and wrong are dictated by the compass that we have in our heads. The compass that tells us who we are, what we want, and who we want to be. With that being said, I ask you, how do you perceive failure? Losing. Getting eighth. Pick a name for it. Because the defendant on trial today, failure, is being tried on the charges of assault, detriment to growth, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Mouthful. But this case is about far more than just shed tears and hurt feelings. This case is about the stigma that exists in regards to failure, which has led us as a society to dilute it, all in the name of instant gratification. You may not even notice it, because it isn't very noticeable. It's just flowed into how we are. Hearing people say things like that there's room for improvement, instead of saying that you didn't do that well. Or saying that you did your best when you really didn't. Or if you go to a competition, you get a participation trophy, even though you didn't have to compete and win anything. Now, it is this everybody gets a trophy mindset that confuses me still. You see, in my culture, at least the culture I grew up in, we say things as they are. If you win, you win, and if you lose, you lose. And if someone doesn't tell you, the world will make sure to let you know. So it was this optional blindness to failure that perplexes me, still to this day. Even in school, I don't understand why we get retakes of tests. I don't understand why we are allowed to turn in papers late. And that's the biggest question I ask myself. Why? Why do we think this way? Why do we perpetuate an idea which at its core is unrealistic? Now, I would first like to introduce into evidence the concept of availability. Around the world, people are told that the United States is the land of opportunity. Rolls off the title name, like America, the land of opportunity. It's basically the title. So people believe that if you go to the United States and you live there, you work there, and you study there, that you are prone to success. People grow up here being told that they have so many opportunities around them. You have so many chances to be successful. All you got to do is go out and take them. Right? But what this is doing, it's creating a process of success. It's making success procedural. Just something that kind of happens, right? And in doing that, success becomes a product which has effectively been marketed to the people and to the rest of the world. But what happens is what is known as diminishing marginal returns, which basically means that the more of something we have, the less of something we want. How I like to think of this in terms of success and failure is what I call the cookie postulate. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but hear me out. It'll sound smart at the end. Think of it like this. If you were to wake up every day with a jar of cookies next to your bed, you wake up, you look at them, okay, they're there. You go back to bed, you look at them, okay, they're there, cool. Then you would expect the cookies to be there whenever you're there, right? Whenever you're in your bedroom, because that's just kind of what happens. You would know that you would be able to get cookies whenever you want. And because of that, you wouldn't really be hungry for cookies. And the same thing happens with success. Because we expect all of the opportunities to be there. And we know that those opportunities will lead to success. And we stop being hungry. But when the hunger returns, that's when we get scared. When our cookies get taken away from us, we become scared. Yeah, repeat that. When we get out of our fairy tale land where everything is awesome and everything is great and come back to the real world where we don't win all the time, we are scared. We have stopped being explorers and become settlers. Settling for the cookies that we already have in our jar because our cookies are good enough, right? The cookies we have are like the best, right? They're awesome. The success and opportunities we have are awesome. But the problem that arises with this is that at its core, this mindset is unrealistic. It's a culture of success that is setting people up for failure. Because think about it. There are no retakes in job interviews. You can't turn in a report late at your job or you'll get fired. And sometimes your best is not your best. Or it's not good enough. It's not good enough to get what you want. Because that's the real world. And I tell you this because it happened to me in my little microcosm. I've been a martial artist since the age of 2. And I've been competing since the age of 4. And for as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be a world champion. I wanted to go to this tournament called the Super Grands World Games, go on stage, and win. Not only that, I wanted to come off the stage and for little kids to be like, "Hey, Ecab, can I get your autograph?" That's what I wanted. I don't know. That was my dream. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to be the kid that people looked up to. So the first year I went to this tournament, I got second. Cool, I got second. Good job. But to me, that was a failure because I wanted that first. I wanted that win. So the 1 hour that I'd been training every day turned into 2 hours. The next year it happened again, it turned into 3 hours. The next year I won in underbelts. But I was like, okay, I want like a black belt, with gold, embroidered, it's awesome. So the 3 hours turned into 4 hours. And finally in 2014, I got world title. I even came out with the stage and a little kid came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" That was pretty cool. Anyways. So with my dream complete, I was like, okay, I can do anything, right? I'm the best. I'm the best. But the next year showed me that I can't think of it. Because the next year I found it kind of hard to even place in the top 3. It was 6, 7 states. That was the majority of my places. And at the end of the year, when I went back to the tournament, I went on stage not for 1, but for 3 world titles, right? And I lost all 3 on stage. I remember running down from the stage into the bathroom and crying my eyes out, just thinking that I'd done my best. And I was the best, until I wasn't. I sat atop of a plateau of success which created tunnel vision, by which I forgot that I lost so many times to win once. And this is what in a way is happening to all of us. We are creating imaginary finish lines bound by our best. And so we are constrained to what we think is possible. And in creating these finish lines, we are making our success more easy, yet not necessarily more rewarding. And we're so afraid to fail, because if we run past that finish line, if we just run a little bit more, then we come at a risk of tripping. There might be a kid, there might be a bike, you never know, right? This fear of the unknown is what has created, which is what has led us to be so afraid of failure. But what I realized while I was crying on that toilet, kind of like epiphany, was that the most important thing I need to do is be realistic. I can't keep myself in a bubble of all good. I can't just expect everything to be awesome all the time. I can't just wake up every day and expect there to be cookies in that jar. We need to realize that both success and defeat provide an opportunity for growth. And you see, that's what this is about. It's not about winning, it's not about losing, it's not about crying, it's not about laughing. It's about growth. Growing as a person, growing as a student, and for me, growing as a competitor. You see, I see life as a beautiful painting, one which is filled with all the colors and awesomeness of success and the good parts and the happy parts. But if that painting has no shadows, no dark spots, no times of loss, then it's a painting without depth. So ultimately, I think that there are 3 L's of success. You lose, you listen, and you learn. I lost, and this year I am listening, I am learning, and I am growing. With that, I rest my case. And I simply ask you to remember that failure is inevitable, but defeat is optional. Thank you.